Hey guys, I want to talk to you about words. And mostly just because nowadays words are becoming absolutely ridiculous. Like, Newt Gingrich is a historian, and people are, there's a slut walks and all this stuff. And yes, I use quotations because of the words. And I feel like somebody needs to decode this stuff. And yes, I figure that would be me. And the first word I want to talk about is one that's very, very personal to me because it affects me a lot, um, especially given my sexuality, which, if you haven't read the thing down there, it's pansexual. And that's the word faggot. Now, this is a word that comes around a lot, especially kind of in my family because, well, they're slightly insensitive. And the more and more I started hearing it and started being myself described as it, the more I started wondering, well, what does this word mean? I mean, other than, the obviousness of it. And what's the history of the word? Where did it come from? Who used it first? When was it used first? And in my research, I came across some pretty interesting stuff. Uh, like I found out that originally the word was not spelled F-A-G-G-O-T. It was spelled F-A-G-O-T. And it literally meant a bundle of sticks. Yes. Yes. Laugh all you want in it. Began as a bundle of sticks. And then, at about 1914, by the way, the first spelling of it, it's been used since about the 14th century, so from about 1301 to 1401. Now, the word as it is now, with the two G's, the one G added into it, has been in use since 1914. For those of you not willing to do the math, that's 98 years. Literally, in 2 more years, it'll be a century old. Yes, century, 100 years. So, it's been around for 100 years, or well, close to 100 years, and it originally did not describe gay men. In fact, in the beginning, it was used as a term against, women and children, a very disparaging word still. So it's not like, oh, it was a nice word, and like, it turned into a bad word. No, no, it was used for the same reasons. Just disparage people. But it was used against women and children. And it was still the one G word. Now, 1914, we're talking, we're talking 6 more years till, women's suffrage and rights came into it in the 1920s. And kids were still working in factories. So, kind of figured somehow along the line it was used there. But even if it wasn't used, in that sense of, sorry, camera tilting. Even if it wasn't used in the sense of, in the sense of women or anything like that, think about that. It's been used against gays for 98 years. 98 years. Some words should just die, you know? Kind of like people, Get up there, somebody should kill you off. Well, okay, that's a little extreme, but you get the analogy I'm trying to make, hopefully. So, I talked about this with some of my friends, and I'll admit not all my friends are, ridiculously smart people. And they were like, well, maybe it'll become like, the N word, Like, maybe it'll just be, you guys can use it. I'm like, I could see it maybe being used in like a sexual sense, like in the course of really, really rough sex. I can't really see it being used as, an everyday terminology, like us just walking around like, that's my bag. I can't see that happening. But maybe I'm just a little short-sighted. Either that or I'm going to feel really weird in the future. But literally, this word has literally gone from stick to a derogatory term to where towards people who, are putting their stick. I mean, think about that for a second. And the other thing too is that not all of the terms, like the little spin-offs such as fag and stuff like that, are technically bad words. I mean, people still understand that it's a bad word in other countries, but for instance, in England, it's used to describe, you know, hand me a cigarette. Believe me. So over in Ireland when that happened, weirdest thing. I was like, so you want me to hand you a gay person? I mean, and again, I was like about 13 at the time when this happened. But when I learned that, I'm like, so I have to learn all the meanings of this word? But now I'm older, kind of understand. It's still really weird, but it kind of works in some ridiculous sense. Because you have to understand that not everybody, has the same history with words as it is in this country, well, in America. I think that really, showed me that to a sense. But I'm getting a little bit off my topic and, well, kind of. And that's pretty much the history of that word. So hopefully I filled you in like that. I'll probably be doing more of these, maybe not, with such loaded words, but, um, yeah. Hope have a good one.